Right, what's going on, everybody? It's Sam from Bet. In this video, I'll be doing my full card predictions for UFC Fight Night 200 Chikadze versus Kattar. This is the first video of 2022, even though I'm recording this previously, but I think most of the people are going to be seeing this in the first weeks of the year. So I wish everybody Happy New Year. Hope you guys had a good time. And as a gift, hopefully to everybody, I'm going to be showing this the entire card here, predictions and the bets. What I generally do, I show only the main cards in the YouTube video open, and I leave the prelims and the props and the lock of the night discussions exclusive on Patreon. For this card, I will be doing exclusively on Patreon the props and the lock of the night discussion, but the entire card predictions open to everybody. Also for this year, I'm at least for the beginning of the year, I'm trying to get ahead of the game as much as possible. So you guys gonna be seeing on the upcoming card the main cards and like I said, the prelims and the props and the lock of the night discussions exclusive on Patreon. All right. So if you wish to support the channel and see how the Patreon can help you make more money, stick until the end. I'll show you how. All right. So let's get into it, guys. Let me go through the entire lineup, just telling who I'm picking, who I'm betting. And here I'm talking about only the straight and the parlays, and then the prop bets coming in another video, like I said. Between Raoni Barcelos versus Victor Henry, this moved from another card. I'm picking Barcelos but not betting. Gabriel Benitez versus TJ Brown. I'm picking Benitez and not betting. Giga Chikadze versus Colin Kattar. I'm picking Chikadze and not betting. Jake Collier versus Chase Sherman. Picking and betting Sherman. VAnessa Demopoulos versus Silvana Gomez. I'm picking Silvana and not betting. Slava Borshchev versus Dakota Bush. I'm picking Borshchev but betting Bush. I'll explain why in the breakdowns. Joanderson Brito versus Algeo. I'm picking Algeo but not betting. Joaquin Buckley versus Abdul Razak Hassan. Picking Buckley not betting. Brandon Royval versus Rodrigues Boltarin. I'm picking Royval but betting Boltarin. Explain you guys why in the breakdowns. Yes. So Ramiz Brahimaj versus Court McGee. I'm picking and betting McGee. Michel Pereira versus Muslim Salikhov. Picking and betting Pereira. Joseph Holmes versus Jamie Pickett. Picking and betting Pickett. Kleydson Rodrigues versus Zarrukh Adashev. Not picking Rodrigues but not betting. Saidyokub. Kakhramonov versus Brian Kelleher. Picking Saidyokub but not betting. Alright. This in here you guys see the percentage I'm betting. This is in betting units. So basically I have all very tiny bets. Not too confident in any of these guys, but I do think there is some potential and some value on those guys that I said, right? So let's get into the breakdown, guys. I try to make this compact and nice, so everybody can have a good read, and some with live information, but not to extend this for too long, right? So between TJ Brown versus Gabriel Benitez, this is an interesting one, guys. I was very tempted to bet in Brown. I ended up not getting this bet. I'm still thinking about it, but still I don't think it's that much value in either of these guys. What I expect here, guys, is Benitez to be able to control the range. Benitez is known for his kicks. He also has a good, 1-2 up the middle, has a decent right hook from the southpaw stance. He's also not a bad grappler. He's not the best wrestler, especially offensive, but he does a decent job of stuffing takedowns, countering. Obviously he's an experienced guy, he's in a good camp, so he can also do a little bit of everything. He can take guys down, pushing them against the cage, using the body lock takedown type of thing, but he's at his best when he's actually keeping it standing and using the range and kicking hard, which TJ Brown struggled against in the past. That's why I'm not betting Brown, even though Brown, he did a good job against Kamaka. I ended up picking and betting Kamaka that fight. I still think that Kamaka won the fight, but probably was biased there and not. But it was a close fight. So TJ Brown, this guy evolved throughout the years with the striking, but I still think that his forte is the wrestling. He's at his best when he can keep it standing, keep it competitive on the feet, but then out wrestling the guys, holding them down, using his grappling. He's a good grappler. He's also more physical for this, more physical than Benitez. Not too much, but a little bit. I think Brown's a little bit stronger, which is interesting if he can push the pace and make Benitez grapple, push him against the cage and keep grinding, something like this, which he can. So he's potentially a live dog here. If you're gonna force me to bet, definitely dog or pass. But still, I'm gonna be picking Benitez here. I think I'm picking him by decision. Maybe fight go the distance here, not bad idea, because I think this goes the distance, even though this is a little bit chaotic fight. So, but not that bad idea. But still, I'm gonna be passing on this one as of now. All right. On to the next fight, Silvana Gomez versus VAnessa Demopoulos. Another interesting one. This one more tough to call, and especially to bet. Demopoulos basically a grappler, not much of an offensive wrestler though. This is her problem. On the feet, she's quite passive, waits for too long, doesn't do much, has a decent overhand. Sometimes she takes the front foot, doesn't look that bad, but she has more like a passive nature. Even though actually in her last bout, she looked pretty good shooting those takedowns, you know. So I was back and forth on this one. She's fighting Silvana Gomez, which is primarily a striker, but definitely not passive in nature. This girl's aggressive, even though she's a little bit less experienced, you know, so she can find herself in waiting a little bit too long just because she's relatively inexperienced, you know, she thinks she's winning the fight, but those fights are close. So like I told you guys, I was back and forth here. I started with Demopoulos, then I switched to Silvana just because I think she's hungrier, you know, and if she can stuff the takedowns, which there's a decent chance that she can, then I think she has more chance to dominate. But obviously, if VAnessa Demopoulos can take the top position, she's gonna hold the position and gonna dominate herself. So you can pick a side here. This is basically a 50-50 fight, you know. So I ended up going with Silvana, like I told you guys, just because I think she's more, you know, more aggressive and willing to take the fight more, and I think she's going to be better prepared here. I think she's also, I think they're about the same size, but I think Silvana is a little bit longer, so she has that in the feet as well. She can, she hits fairly hard, not fairly hard, she hits hard. And if VAnessa starts getting hit, she's not going to like it. She's probably going to try to wrestle. If she can't, she's probably going to lose. So I think this is more chance than VAnessa out wrestling and holding the position. So that's why I'm going Silvana here. All right. Plus Silvana, I think she can escape the bottom position if she doesn't get flattened out, which is quite decent chances. I think she's gonna be ready for that. But we'll see. Ramiz Brahimaj versus Court McGee. This is another interesting one. Young versus old lion here. The Crusher. This guy's a veteran. Now he's 37. He has 30 fights, you know, in his career, which is also amazing because, if I'm not mistaken, most of his career was in the UFC, or at least most of the years for sure. Maybe not in the amount of bouts, but this guy's been there forever. I don't know when he first, you know, started, but was the Ultimate Fighter. I don't even know which number. I remember that I watched this was in the beginning of my betting years. So Court McGee, a veteran, can do a little bit of everything. Not the most impressive guy in any aspect of the game, you know, but basically a tough guy, a decent wrestler, an okay striker, not okay, a decent striker as well, you know, tough guy, you know, and massive experience. He's fighting Brahimaj, who is a young guy, not that many fights, but he's a BJJ Nogi competitor, Nogi champion. This guy on the ground is dominant, you know, we saw that what he can do against Sasha Palatnikov. Palatnikov didn't offer much resistance, so it was not that difficult. Nonetheless, this guy is very heavy, very skillful from top. He's also much younger, almost 10 years younger in this matchup. And he's not a bad striker himself, you know, has a decent boxing game. But I think we're gonna see, guys, probably Court McGee being able to stuff most of the takedowns, even reversing the position. We saw McGee, he can do that. He can stuff takedowns and push guys against the cage, take them down. He's not afraid to grapple from top. You know, even Brahimaj being skillful as he is, McGee can take the top position, and since this is an MMA match, he can hang in there, he can do ground and pound, he can control, he can steal rounds. I think this is the most likely scenario, even though Ramiz has more potential. He's much younger, he's under a good camp and whatnot. Bigger, stronger, you know, younger, like I said. But I think we're going to see the experience 3 times more fights in favor of McGee. I think Brahimaj also, he's still developing a little bit. You know, he's yet to find his effective style, pushing the guys against the cage there and imposing, mixing the striking. I don't see that. He's too fluid yet, so that's why I think McGee maybe even losing the first round, so maybe McGee in a live bet's even better, because I think he can lose the first and pick up the second and the third. But I'm going with McGee here. I think he can, you know, basically make it competitive the entire fight. If you guys like, I like McGee especially by decision, guys, because he's a small underdog in this one, and by decision I think it's plus 200. So Court McGee by decision definitely bet from my side. But I also like McGee a little bit in a straight bet, like I told you guys. Slava Borshchev versus Dakota Bush. Another interesting one. Slava, striker, despite the Russian surname, he doesn't have much wrestling. He's more of a striker, pretty good one, lots of angles, quite tall for the division. Not quite tall, tall for the division. I think 5'11", probably 6 foot tall. Not that long though. Hits fairly hard, but more of a volume puncher, accurate guy. In a good camp, knows what to do, knows where he wants to fight. He's fighting Dakota Bush, which is more of a on the feet. He's not that skillful, he's more like basic on the feet, let's put it this way. He does basic combinations, but he does a good job in there. He's also a big strong guy for the division. I like Bush's wrestling a little bit. He has a good double leg and a body lock takedown that I'm putting here. I also like his grappling a little bit, especially for MMA. I think he's a more physical guy in this matchup, and he can potentially make it fairly competitive on the feet as Borshchev. He's tall, but he's not that long, so the range is fairly identical. Bush probably has the reach advantage in this, so given the height, it's probably going to be quite similar in that regard. And Bush has a decent kicks, and he has the wrestling. I think we're going to see Dakota Bush trying to implement his game plan here, like make it competitive on the feet and then pushing Slav against the cage, trying to out-wrestle him. I think he's a live dog because he's more physical. I think he's potentially has the better cardio here. We're gonna see whether Slava Borshchev being pressed against the cage, we can hold up, the physical part. We'll see. I still think that Bush is a live dog here. I'm back and forth. I ended up picking Slava just, because I think he has more potential to dominate the fight in case he stuffs the takedowns. But I'm not too confident there. That's why in my calculations, actually, Bush should be like plus 120 dog. He's like plus 170 now. So my bet is on Bush, and I'm also gonna be probably betting him by decision as well. Because yeah, this is a fight to me definitely dog or pass. As we're gonna see, if Slava can live up to the potential. Maybe he can, but given everything else what I said, plus it's his debut, so you never know at the end of the day. So definitely dog or pass. Joanderson, Brito versus Algeo. Another interesting one, guys. Brito, super aggressive guy, compact, powerful, explosive, athletic, likes to swing for the bleachers on the feet. This guy's wild, and then he shoots. He's a good grappler. Use all his power to throw guys to the ground, take top positions, mashing elbows. So this guy is very physical, very explosive. But and he's young, still young. I think he's 26. I should have put here, but I didn't. So he's probably 26 if I'm not mistaken, even 27. Between 25 and 27 he is. So Algeo, a tall, long guy for the division, very tough, very tough to finish. He's not the biggest puncher, not the most athletic guy. Doesn't look that strong, but he's fairly, like I told you guys, big for the division. So the strength is fine in this regard, Plus he's super tough, like I told you guys, super tough to finish. He's at his best, controlling the range and pushing the pace, using his cardio. This is a tough one to call, guys. I ended up going Algeo just because I think Joanderson Brito can slow down after the first round, But potentially there's a potential for 10-8 for Brito because he's so powerful in the first one. Then he can slow down, obviously, because he explodes with everything he has. Even being young, he's gonna have to slow down. It's impossible. And we're gonna see Algeo probably picking up the pace from the second and the third. I think Algeo by decision is the safest pick here. Actually, I need to take a look on that prop. But rather than that, it's a tough one to call. This should go the distance because Algeo is super tough, like I told you guys. And maybe to pick a side is different. Fight go the distance may be interesting as well because they're both tough. But I do see some chance for Algeo round 3 finish, or Brito even round 1 especially, because like again, he's gonna come as a shark, as his Brazilian surname here, nickname. Joseph Holmes versus Jamie Pickett, an interesting one here. Young, upcoming guy. Holmes, super tall, 6'4", very long. I haven't seen much from this guy, guys, because I don't have much footage available from what I've seen. An okay striker despite the range. Doesn't use that well to his advantage, but a very good grappler. Likes to shoot and take the... Not very good grappler. He's a decent grappler from top. And but one of those guys that probably came up with MMA skills and found himself more comfortable on the ground. He can take the back of guys, choke them out, use ground and pound. He's fighting Jamie Pickett, who surprised many people, including myself, with the approach that he brought. Even though I called that, I said that he could potentially bring, but I didn't see. But he brought a strategic fight against the Argentinian guy there. Actually, the Argentinian guy, he was pushing the pace in instigating the grappling, and Pickett was defending and then used the grappling against him, used his range. I do see Pickett doing that here again because Holmes, his style is based on grappling, and Jamie Pickett is a decent wrestler, and he has a good takedown defense. He's very athletic and strong and powerful. Not that powerful, but very athletic and fast and strong. Pickett also has the same reach as Holmes, even though Holmes is taller, so Holmes has a little bit in that regard, but Pickett is a long guy himself. He's more experienced. I think we're going to see Pickett using more volume on the feet, defending the takedowns, eventually even reversing the position. So I like Pickett a little bit here, guys. To me, the odds are reversed. I would have Pickett as minus 130 and Holmes as plus 120. We see that reverse, so to me makes sense to bet Pickett. I'm doing that. Plus Pickett by decision, in my opinion. That line is interesting. Pickett is plus 300 now, so I like that a little bit. Plus fight go the distance, exactly what I wanted to bet, so I'm also betting that a little bit. And like I told you guys, expect that Holmes tries to out-wrestle Pickett, and I think he's going to struggle, and Pickett's going to use more volume, and I see Pickett with more chances on the wrestling as well. Kyle Borralho versus Jamie Pickett, this was cancelled. Saidyokub Kakhramonov versus Brian Kelleher, this is a very interesting one. Saidyokub, again, despite the Russian surname, more of a striker. Not more of a striker. Even though this guy is a little bit more complete, he can shoot takedowns and he's very good in stuffing takedowns. He's fighting Brian Kelleher, who is a very versatile guy. He can bang a little bit on the feet. He's not afraid to throw down, has some power. He showed his wrestling potential his last fight. Very good double leg, deep entries. This guy goes deep from the top. He's not afraid to grapple with anybody. Very good submission defense, good ground and pound and control. We're gonna see if Brian Kelleher can impose this game plan against Kakhramonov. He definitely will try, but he's fighting a young lion here, a prepared guy. Gonna be ready with his takedown defense. He's only 26, whereas Kelleher is probably 36 now, so it's 10 years apart. Saidyokub hits hard. He's sharp on the feet. So the only question here is, can Saidyokub stuff the takedowns? Tough to tell. This guy has been taken down before. He can struggle a little bit to escape. So, guys, very tough one. I think the best bet here is probably Kelleher by decision as an underdog, because Saidyokub can finish Kelleher, whereas the opposite, I don't see much chances. So Kelleher by decision is probably the best bet. But I think I'm gonna pass on this one. I think Saidyokub gonna win this fight. But it depends. If I can get Kelleher plus 300, I'll probably get a stab into that as well. Alright. Kleydson Rodrigues versus Zarrukh Adashev, another interesting one. Striker versus grappler. Kleydson Rodrigues actually not only a striker, but primarily a striker. This guy is aggressive, he's powerful, athletic. This guy controls the range pretty well, has good leaping knees. This guy is very dynamic on the feet. He's a flyweight, tall and long and athletic, so it's super tough to fight this guy. If someone to fight well against him is Zarrukh. Zarrukh, very experienced. He has a decent wrestling game, but it's not outstanding. So Zarrukh, actually, he does a good job using calf kicks on the outside and then mix some blitz in. Plus, sometimes he can wrestle too. The main question here, guys, can Kleydson Rodrigues come at his best, calm, cool, collected, and being able to pick his shots and then stuff the takedowns? I think he can. But to me, the best bet here again is the underdog by decision, because I don't see much chances for Adashev. Adashev is a plus 200 dog, so you can easily find him by decision at plus 300, plus 350. I like that bet a little bit, nothing crazy, because I think KR has good chances to dominate this fight, be one-sided match, or even finish Adashev. But still, guys, I think it's a tough one at this point to bet KR, go all in with an upcomer as good as he is, as so many physical tools as he has. I still think that it's quite tough to bet him on his debut, especially in the beginning of the year as well. You never know the party, how these guys take these things, so I don't know, man. I think I would say dog or pass, even though Adashev plus 200, still quite tricky, but Adashev by decision definitely worth a step, in my opinion. Collier versus Chase Sherman. Another interesting one between the two heavyweights here. Collier, has 3 fights as a heavyweight, not in the UFC at least. This guy, he's still quite difficult to tell if he's a good one or not. Against Tomas Pinal, he's got dominated. Then he did a good job against Carlos Felipe. There's one more that I forgot with whom he fought that he won. Guys, he's Collier is tough, and he has a decent boxing game. He also used some kicks on the outside, but I think Chase Sherman should win this fight, guys. He's younger a little bit, Plus, he's definitely the more natural heavyweight. Collier obviously looks so chubby in there, even though he didn't look bad as a heavyweight. Actually, Collier won against Jan Villante. Villante started that fight pushing the pace, then Collier, survived and then picked up the pace. I think Chase Sherman actually has the better cardio of the two. He definitely has more power. He's more the faster, more athletic guy. I see decent chances for Chase Sherman finishing Collier in the first. If he cannot, then we're gonna see problem of Chase Sherman that everybody knows, that chin up, not moving the head, getting hit with everything. But still, I think Chase Sherman taking one to give one, he has the edge here because he's the more natural heavyweight, and I don't think Collier, if he starts getting hit, I don't think he's gonna like it too much. I think he can potentially, try to play safe and lose the fight. But again, guys, tough one. I think Chase Sherman should be a small favorite. We see the lines the opposite, so again, makes sense for me to bet the dog here. I'm picking Sherman, and I think he has more chance to win the fight. Let's see if somehow he adapts. But this is his fight to win, guys. If he doesn't win this, probably he's gonna get cut again on the UFC or something, because he has to adapt and do something different at some point, right? Joaquin Buckley versus Abdul Razak Al Hassan. Another interesting one. 2K knockout artists. 2 compact, tough guys, heavy hitters. Joaquin Buckley, probably known by everybody for that awesome spinning heel kick. Knockout also puts guys out. He put out Antonio Arroyo last fight. I was very confident on Arroyo, almost won the bet, but he got that uppercut in there and those bombs. So that's what he does. He basically can use good hooks and uppercuts, but he can also wrestle a little bit. We saw him shooting a good double leg against Antonio Arroyo, which was interesting because he's fighting Abdul Razak Al Hassan, who got easily out-wrestled by, what's the name of the guy again? Just forgot there, the Australian guy. So I'm gonna remember soon. So I think we're gonna see a war here. Basically, I think that either of these guys by finish. I think Buckley has a little bit more chances for the finish. I would say Buckley by knockout. If I could get this, something like plus 300, whereas Al Hassan by knockout like plus 350 or something. Fight go in the distance, not impossible, but has to be at something like plus 250 or something in case Buckley come with a wrestling approach, to win against Al Hassan. Al Hassan also could potentially. Actually, it's difficult to see Al Hassan winning by decision, right? Because this guy has basically an overhand right, which is massive, powerful, but if it doesn't land, he probably guesses and loses the decision. So maybe either Buckley, by decision, which sounds a little bit crazy. But, sorry guys, I'm fixing this while talking to you guys. I forgot to correct this one. So I think Buckley's probably 60% favorite, which by my calculation would give like minus 170 or Hassan plus 155. I think the bookies have similar to this. I think this one's a little bit tricky to bet because Buckley, he's not perfect on the feet. He doesn't have the range here. It's pretty much identical, even though he's a little bit longer. I think Hassan could find that overhand, plus Al Hassan used a kick his last fight, which was interesting. I don't know which version this guy gonna show up as well. I don't think putting money on Buckley at this point is worth it unless Buckley could out-wrestle Al Hassan, which feels tempting to bet Buckley if it comes with that game plan, but you cannot count with Buckley in. So to me it's a pass, guys. I think I'm gonna just pick Buckley by knockout, right? And watch this one. I think the under props may also feel tempting, but I do think that they're gonna be very expensive. I think everybody expects that this one ends up in a finish, so I would be more interested to take the sort of upset in the terms of a prop here in fight go the distance with something like plus 300, something like that, or Buckley by decision plus 350. That's something that looks stupid probably to most of you, but I do think can happen in case Buckley comes with a wrestling approach. Michel Pereira versus Muslim Salikhov. Excellent fight here, guys. We'll see. The young again versus the old lion. Salikhov, kickboxing specialist. This guy is excellent in timing. Those spinning kicks are just nasty. He also has a very good takedown defense, and he can also take guys down himself. He's a complete fighter. Not complete, but he's definitely an excellent striker that can do a little bit of everything. Michel Pereira, very physical guy for the division, known by his acrobatics, but finally I hope that he fixed that. He's using there more to his advantage. He's pacing himself, using his range, using his kicks, touching guys more often, using that size that he has to his advantage, also using the clinch more often. So I do see Pereira here as a small favorite, because he has the range, and Salikhov, he's dangerous, but I do think Pereira gonna win this fight just because he's more physical. He has the height, the reach, and he has the use, guys. It's nearly 10 years. Salikhov now is 37, He's still an excellent fighter, don't get me wrong. This guy's still tough, but I think Pereira gonna win this fight, guys. I think he has more chance for the finish as well, as surprised as this may sound, because Salikhov, if he lands clean with the spinning kick, obviously he can finish Pereira, but I do think Pereira, being more basic, touching more to the body, using tip kicks, long shots, that like the basic striking combination, he has more chance to finish Salikhov than the opposite way around. I saw Salikhov getting dropped. I don't remember which fight to call out to you guys now, but he's been dropped before. I think fighting a big guy like Pereira who can also out-wrestle him, it's a dangerous fight for Salikhov, so I think Pereira should win this one. One of my most confident picks, I can say, Michel Pereira, but I can definitely see Salikhov winning this, especially if he can, if Pereira comes, gets intimidated, start eating too many head kicks and cannot out-wrestle, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think Pereira going to use the range and be more physical in this matchup. Brandon Royval versus Rodrigues Bolterin. High level fight here. Brandon Royval, the raw dog guy just comes forward like crazy. This guy keeps, using head kicks, shots from the outside, shoots, he takes to the ground, he keeps grappling. Very intense, very aggressive. He's fighting Bolterin, who is a physical guy for the division. Brandon Royval is 5'9", so he's very skinny for the weight class. He's fighting a 5'5" fighter here in Bolterin. Bolterin, he's physical for the division. He's very strong. He picks guys up very easily. He's also an excellent grappler. He also has some credentials on the kickboxing, even though I don't think he's that excellent. It's more like a power puncher in there, but still he has some experience, which is not to be overlooked. Hi guys, I think Royval is still the favorite here because he's so dangerous with that range, and using those head kicks, and I think on the ground it's gonna be interesting because I think Bolterin has advantage on the ground, so we're gonna see whether Royval gonna try to keep it standing. If he does, and that's why I think he's a small favorite, he can potentially dominate this fight, keeping the range, because Bolterin gets hit and doesn't have the range to compete in here. Also, Bolterin's a little bit wild, but if Bolterin goes physical, which is also a decent chance, and takes it to the ground, or even Royval shoots and goes like a kamikaze as he always does, Bolterin potentially has even more chances because I think Bolterin is a better technical grappler. But could go either way, guys. This is a very tough one to predict. I think Royval is a small favorite. Bolterin opened up as a plus 145. I took a bet in there. Now he's like plus 135, so still there's some value in Bolterin in my opinion. But already becoming quite tricky to bet on this one in my opinion. Okay, so this could also likely finish within the distance, even though I think that line gonna be expensive. But take a look at that, you know. Also, fight going the distance, not impossible here. Even though Royval never won by decision, I think actually he probably won, but or he never lost by decision. One of the two. So I think it's quite tough based on Royval's style that this goes the distance. But again, there's a chance that Royval comes in with a smart game plan, controlling the range, avoiding the grappling, and wins a clear decision. Or even Botorin gets a decision by being more physical, but not being able to finish Royval because Royval is excellent on the ground as well. So could go the distance, guys. Don't think that it's impossible, but tricky one to call into bet. Caitlin Chukadian versus Jennifer Maia. They fought before. This is a rematch. The last matchup, Maia lost the first two by sitting on the outside, getting touched, and then on the third round, she found her way on the clinch and used her physical skills against Chukadian. Guys, Jennifer Maia has more of a passive and waits a little bit too much. You know, if she does again, she's gonna lose the decision again. But there's a chance that Maia gonna come a little bit more aggressive. Let's put it this way: try to go more physical using the clinch. She seems to have be doing that. Sorry, more often. So I think there's a chance that Maia, you know, goes physical on Chukadian. Maia is a good grappler. She's not gonna get submitted by Chukadian, and I don't think she finishes Chukadian as well. You know, so this probably goes the distance. The line there obviously is expensive. I think it's minus 260, even though not bad. You know, could parlay that potentially. But Maia by decision plus 200. That's what I would like to bet. That's exactly how the book is opened up. This is definitely worth it in my opinion. Again, Maia probably gonna try to go physical. If she does, she has a decent chance to win this fight. You know. So, in terms of a pick, I think I have to pick Chukadian because she's probably gonna be in our replay of the last fight. But again, there's a chance that Maia can do it that I said and then win a decision. In the main event, you get Chikadze versus Calvin Kattar. Good matchup, you know. I mean, Chikadze looking very dominant on all of his outings. This guy is very tall, very long for the division, an excellent kickboxer. Those kicks are just nasty. He has such long legs, and it's very tough to stop those kicks. You know, especially when he starts trying to deliver, it's nasty. Also, this guy is experienced, and he has this style where he's technical, but he has the fire in there. You know, he's not gonna fight pretty. If he tries to fight pretty, but if it goes ugly, he doesn't care. He's gonna bang. You know, this guy's a fighter. He's fighting Calvin Kattar, who is not behind in terms of technique. Obviously, Kattar doesn't have as much kickboxing experience as Chikadze, but Kattar can do a little bit of everything. He's a very good boxer. You know, I think this guy grapples pretty well, even though we don't see that often. I think he's also a pretty good wrestler. He looks like those guys that are excellent everywhere. But what I said about Giga, that Giga doesn't care to fight pretty. He cares to win the fight. I cannot say the same for Kattar. Kattar cares to fight pretty. He likes to be technical in there, likes to be with that beautiful jab, that clean combo, you know, waiting for the right time and everything. I think in this matchup we're gonna see Giga, you know, the taller, longer guy here, touching him more often. I don't think Kattar gonna try. He's gonna probably try to take a risk one time or another, but he's gonna see that Chikadze is there to bang with him, something like Holloway did, you know, even though I think Chikadze is more physical than Holloway, especially with that range, and he definitely hits harder, you know. So I don't think Kattar gonna be able to impose too much on Giga. Giga gonna be there to bang with him. But anyway, guys, if you want to bet Giga, I'm not blaming you, but you know that you are also betting based on an assumption that Kattar gonna try to fight pretty. If Kattar somehow tries to bring this to the ground or wrestle him, and he should, and I think he will try, we're gonna see whether Giga actually improve that much his grappling. I think this guy Giga's there, you know, Giga not gonna back down. You're not gonna see Giga being controlled and accepting that he's controlled. This guy's coming to be a champion, so everything is lining up for Giga to dominate this fight. But still, guys, Kattar's like plus 185, something like this. This guy has massive experience. He's the better, well-rounded fighter. I think it's tough, you know. My head is telling me Giga, as a strong pick, but you know, looking from the outside and looking more like a statistic part and you know, MMA well-rounded skill set, Kattar has more. So, and this is our main event guys. You know, I said that Kattar likes to fight pretty, but still, he's a fighter and he's a main event guy. So I don't know, guys. This guy also has massive experience. I think the best thing to do here is to pass, because it's a tough one to pick, or to bet Kattar by decision. Again, the underdog by decision is not a bad idea in my opinion, because Giga is very tough to finish, and I think Kattar, to win, he's gonna have to fight very smart and be able to either somehow you know, win more exchanges against Giga, or you know, get him to the ground, steal rounds in the end of still at the end of the rounds type of thing, right? So guys, this will do for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like, subscribe, share with your friends. Like I told you guys, I will come up with the Patreon video showing the lock of the night and top 2 parlay discussion, plus the prop bets that I took for this card. And this is part of the $10 Patreon package. All right, so how this will benefit you? You're gonna have whenever possible, I go ahead of the game, I release this video, so you guys can even combine bets with the future cards. Okay, so since you guys are here with me, one bet that I'm combining is Serial Gun. I'm combining him with many fighters. I think he's gonna win the fight. He's gonna be the champion. So something that you're gonna see from this package. And the $50 tier is the ultimate package that I have line by line all the bets that I took. This is how it looks like. This is from the previous months. I didn't have the best months in there, you know, but this is how it looks like. It's line by line all the bets that I'm taking, including the props, you know, so you guys can easily see everything that I'm doing. And if you trust me from my previous analysis, you like my style, you can obviously see what I'm doing. Take everything with a grain of salt and enjoy, right? So this is the ultimate package where you guys can just basically use my experience to your advantage. Okay, so this will do again, guys, for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like, subscribe, share with your friends, and I'll talk to you next time. Same from the other bet, bring the best, most consistent and transparent betting strategy for you.